Hi, how you doing, friends? It's me, Waddles. As the sun slowly sets, inching closer and closer to dissipating behind our tree line, something very big is about to happen, friends. This moment that I'm grateful me, you, and Bones will get to share together. Oh boy, well, this moment is one of the first great moments of this Minecraft guide series. You see, my friend, as soon as that sun greets the horizon, and I go inside and sleep, it will officially be day number 100. Nah, I can't lie, I'm not much of a sentimental guy, but this big milestone, it's got me in my feels. In honor of today's latest and greatest milestone, in today's banger of an episode, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Today, we'll be taking a look back at our first 100 days in this world and everything that we've done so far. While doing that, I'll be laying out a clean roadmap for your first or next 100 days inside of Minecraft. And so, I think there's only one thing that we can do to wrap up our first 100 days, and that is, well, I guess at this point, breed up the food and get our situation looking very, very nice. Cow Crusher, sweet friend, you already know. I'll be coming over to you soon and taking some leather out. Hey, beef. We'll be taking beef out. Bonzo, stand guard all night, because now, it's time for day number 100. Wow, that feels... You know, on your birthday, when they ask you if you, like, feel older or something? Well, if somebody were to ask me if I feel older or anything... No. What do you mean by that question? I don't feel older at all. Flashback rewind. Let's kick off our 100 days in the only way technically possible. Every single 100-day long journey begins exactly the same. Over here on a sweet menu. Before you create your 100-day world, you're going to want to decide on exactly what you're doing inside of your world. Will you be surviving 100 days in creative Minecraft, survival, or maybe hardcore Minecraft? If you're picking survival, after that you got some more decisions. What difficulty do you want? Peaceful, easy, normal, or hard? These difficulty options are going to change your experience pretty significantly, especially if you're going with peaceful instead of easy, normal, or hard. After that, you've got a couple more options to figure out. Do you want cheats or not? Have you tapped the like button or not? What kind of world type are you going to do? A super flat challenge, a large biome, amplified, or just a single biome? Inside of the single biome worlds, the challenge is completely different. Sometimes you could be missing things like trees altogether. You gotta pick your world seed. I got a video on that. Do you want structures? Do you want a bonus chest? By enabling a bonus chest inside of your world, when you drop into that thing, you'll be started off with some extra supplies. Experiments. You can turn them out if you want. If you want to check out the bundle on Minecraft to Java, if you want to add some kind of cool data pack to your world, Minecraft Java, or on both versions of the game, if you want to change some of your world settings before you jump into that thing and literally won't be able to without activating cheats, then do that now. After you figure out all your settings, of course, it's time to actually begin your race towards day number 100. Now, inside of our humble little world here, with all the progress we've made, looking back towards our first day inside of this world, there's a couple things that we worried about right off the bat. That's gonna be bed, food, shelter, or boofs for short. For your day 100 challenge, out of those three things you need to worry about right off the bat, a bed is by far gonna be the most important thing. If you spawned inside of a biome that has sheep, you know, something like a taiga, maybe a forest, maybe a plains biome, well, you're in luck. Make it a priority, or in other words, the very first thing you do in your world to run around and find sheep and either take them out, or if you're really lucky and have iron from the start, shear them. Hey, but a side note, how did you get iron from the start? That's not in the bonus chest, you liar. After you take that out, it's time to figure out the food situation. And how I see it, early game, there are three different categories of things that are really, really easy to farm a lot of, and actually really, really good. That first one is going to be that sweet berry merch. No, I meant that first one is going to be sweet berries. If you spawn anywhere near a taiga at all, go into the taiga, run around for a little while, and hopefully you'll find sweet berries. Sweet berries are absolutely amazing early game because to farm them, all you need is the sweet berry. They actually grow relatively quick too, and when you harvest them, you can sometimes get more than one sweet berry. It's actually kind of beautiful. If you're not a fan of sweet berries, or you just don't have a taiga nearby though, don't worry. Head into a river, your local one, and take out any of the fish inside of the river. Salmon, cod, or even tropical fish early game, depending on where you spawn, well, they're beautiful. This one is a surefire one too, because pretty much no matter what kind of seed or world you get, 100%, there's gonna be fish nearby. But you got one more option, and this option might set you up for success later on. If you got super lucky inside of your world and happen to spawn right by a village, my friend, move into that thing and look for the crops. If you can find something like carrots or potatoes early on, oh, that's absolutely clutch. It's amazing. If not, don't worry about it. Wheat actually isn't too bad either. And like I said, it'll set you up later on down the line. After you've got that bed situation cracked out and figured out, after you got your food situation a little bit settled, it's time to look around a little bit, but probably not too far. You're gonna want to set up some kind of shelter. When it comes to your shelter, you got options on options. You can do something like I did right here. Build a simple, small starter house. You can go down into the ground and build a small box. That's really, really safe. You can go into a side of a cliff and build a maybe slightly bigger box. That's pretty cool too. I know it's kind of a lot right off the bat, but if you can take care of those 3 things before day number 3, you'll be set up in your world for big success. Now, by the time day number 3 rolls around in your world and you've already finished all of that stuff, it's time to take a look back at your food situation. If it's not too hot, right now is definitely the time to make it a little bit better. You see, in a Minecraft world, especially one with a target goal of 100 days, food is going to help you out huge time. With an ample supply of food, you'll be able to do like literally anything inside of your world. You want to run all over? Check, not a problem. You want to fight mobs all night long? Check, also not a problem. Oh, and speaking of mobs, right now, in my opinion, you should be skipping every single nighttime. Just don't even bother. Your food situation, whatever it is, if it's fish, maybe set up some kind of semi-automatic fish farm. If you could get your hands on a ruined portal, you could find magma blocks really easy. If you place magma blocks at the bottom of a river, fish will swim in and get pulled down. Now, we actually haven't really built that kind of farm inside of this world, so if you do that, you're ahead of me. Alternatively, you got sweet berries. Well, just plant a bunch of sweet berries. If you're really fancy and you want to make your farm nice, maybe place blocks on top of the sweet berries, maybe slabs or something. Then you could harvest the sweet berries without ever getting stuck inside of them. It's beautiful. Alternatively, my friends, in our 10-step plan for your first 100 days, if you found crops, ooh, this is where it gets good. If you found crops right from the start, maybe it's time, now that you have a little bit of wheat, to actually consider farming animals. Maybe sheep, maybe cow. If possible, if you could set up some kind of cow farm early game right away, well, you just basically built one of the best food farms in all of Minecraft. By day number 10 inside of your Minecraft world, if you can get your food situation in perfect form, well, you've basically removed all of the challenge. Following our roadmap, by day number 10 inside of our world, we had both of those things figured out. We had a big sweet berry farm, and we had bed, food, and shelter. Now, speaking of our world download, out now, for channel members. That's right, my beautiful and wonderful friends, if you want to check out this world and experience it, how it was on day number 99, right before this episode, all you gotta do is slide over to the channel member tab of this world. There's a download out right now for the big milestone. There'll probably be a download out for episode number 20, and there was for episode number 10 too. So up until this point in your world, if you're following my 100-day guide exactly, you probably don't have very many nice tools. With food never going to be a problem again, it's time to consider upgrading your tools beyond stone. Hey, by the way, for specific details on like getting wood tools, going to stone and everything like that, well, welcome to the Minecraft Guide series. Check out some of the earlier episodes where we did that stuff in way more detail. It's time to begin mining, but nowadays, inside of Minecraft 1.20, it's not smart to just jump down into a cave. Instead, my friends, there's something way smarter to do. If possible, run around in your world for a little bit of time, and it should be insanely doable, and find some kind of tall mountain. You see, tall mountains are where it's at early game when it comes to mining. Not only are you going to find a lot of coal on these mountains, but iron. Oh, sweet iron, baby. You can get tons and tons of iron. In fact, I recommend mining on the surface in tall mountainy areas until you have a total of about like 30 iron. With 30 iron, you'll be able to make swords, pickaxes, and a full set of armor. If you want to talk about how the devs seem to want us to do things, it kind of seems like that's what they want us to do. After all, ever since Minecraft 1.18, they moved diamonds way deeper in your world. This is a really big one you want to pull off, especially if you're doing 100 days in hardcore. By getting a full set of iron armor before you even touch the caves, well, look, simply put, it won't remove all challenge and danger from the caves, but it'll make your cave experience a whole lot safer. After you've got enough iron and coal to last you one deep dive into the caves nearby, it's time to make that deep dive into the caves nearby. Armed with enough iron to keep you safe and coal for torches, head down into one of the deepest caves that you can find, hopefully nearby your base. Head as deep as possible, like we're talking below Y16. If you're really lucky, eventually you'll be able to find a bigger open cave. Once you do that, look around on the floor, the ceiling, the walls for diamonds. To find diamonds first, the easiest method is using the big giant caves. As long as you're geared up properly and are at least a little bit cautious, it shouldn't be too hard. If you can find like 6 diamonds or so, you'll be golden. After that, get back out of the caves. Now, depending on how lucky or lucky you aren't, this mining experience shouldn't take too long. Maybe it's like day 15 now. By day number 15, you should have your hands on a small amount of resources. Hopefully you found some lapis down in the caves, definitely some diamonds, because for this next step, we're gonna need obsidian, we're gonna need a little bit of paper, and we're gonna need diamonds. Before you go too crazy in your world and do a bunch of mining, it's very smart to get your hands on a little bit of good enchantments, specifically Fortune 3. That should be the first enchant you're looking for. Now, to build an enchanting setup, there's kind of a lot to it. You're going to need leather, so maybe set up a cow farm. You're going to need paper, so at least harvest a little bit of sugarcane for a while. You're going to need materials to make that enchanting table, so go out in your world and find those, and then, of course, you're going to need something to enchant. If you came out of your first cave with at least 5 diamonds, that's going to be enough diamonds for an enchanting table, and also a diamond pickaxe. Now, next up, we hit a fork in the road. My friends, you've got options. The 4th goal that you should work towards, or the 5th goal you should work towards. After you got a little bit of mining done in your world, you're going to want to either A, set up an enchanting setup, or B, set up an experience farm inside of your world. If you were lucky while caving inside of your world, you found some kind of spawner. Take some time inside of your world and turn that beautiful little thing you found into an efficient XP farm. Now look, later on you'll build something better. This thing is probably not going to be the best thing forever, but it will be at least the best thing for now. If you can come up with some kind of way to get a steady supply of experience flowing freely towards you inside of your world, well, that is going to make enchanting, and maybe even repairing your tools later on, really, really easy. Inside of any Minecraft world, you gotta have some source of experience. If you couldn't find a spawner, well, maybe go back into the caves and keep caving until you can find a spawner. If you can find a mine shaft, you can find a cave spider one. Maybe not like ideal, but it would technically work. Alternatively, there are other options. You can set up a mob farm and take out the mobs for a ton of experience. If you get a ton of cows instead of a pen, I mean, it's not terrible. Another great option is the nether, but if you're gonna go in the nether, be really, really careful. You could make a basic gold farm there. Neither before you set up a good supply of experience or right after you set up a good supply of experience. Maybe right nearby, set up an enchanting setup. Get the bookshelves you need around that thing and get it all the way up to level 30. With the level 30 enchantment setup set up inside of your world, you can throw things like books inside of the table, or maybe that sweet diamond pickaxe, and look for some actually decent enchantments. Ooh, power 4, I love it. I kind of want that. Now, when enchanting in your world, it's your call as to specifically what enchantments you're looking for. But like I mentioned a couple times already, Fortune 3. If you can get that, it'll make the next step of your world way, way easier, and you'll be thriving in no time. Another amazing thing that I recommend prioritizing before it gets too late inside of your world is not actually a sword, but a bow. By having a good bow inside of your world, you can remove a lot of the dangerous challenge up close. You can just take the creepers out from far away. If possible, consider enchanting your armor a little bit, maybe with some water enchantments. And then finally, look for a sword. Ideally, if you could get at least some kind of looting on your sword, that'll make things easier later on. By the time you've got an experience farm set up and you've done a little bit of enchanting in your world, it might be past day number 30. You're making good progress. Armed with enchantments, now you know what time it is. After we got enchantments inside of our world right here, the very next thing we did was actually move back down into the caves, specifically flooded caves. Now, when it comes to your next caving trip, now that you're geared up a little bit more, you don't have to necessarily do flooded caves, but I do highly recommend heading down into any kind of cave system and mining more. Ideally, at this point, if you could get yourself all the way up to diamond everything, meaning diamond armor, diamond tools, well yeah, diamond everything. Well, if you could go down mining and stock up on not only a bunch of diamond things, but a bunch of other materials as well. Maybe you find a geode, maybe you find a lot of redstone, and maybe you find some gold too. It's gonna make everything else really, really easy. But really, seriously, don't spend too much time down there until you at least have Fortune 3. I should be a salesman for this enchantment. I seriously can't stress how important that single enchantment really is. Now, up until this point in your run, you've probably done a whole lot of mining, maybe a tiny bit of building, hopefully some farming, and maybe even a little bit of farm expanding too. Anyways, that's step number 7 out of 10. It's time to get a little bit more cozy with your world. If you're not in some kind of speed race challenge to the end, it's now finally time to take a step back, relax a little bit. Maybe you got a base set up. Well, maybe start expanding that base a little bit. Bring some things in like villagers or other mobs. Make some small farms. Maybe make some buildings. You know, just in general. Make it feel a whole lot more cozy and homey. If you're really into the farming aspect of this game, maybe this is time to take a break and farm a little bit more. If you have a sweet berry farm, you can expand it even more. If you got a crop farm, well, you can expand that even more. If you got an animal farm, well, you probably noticed a common theme here. You can expand the animal farm a little bit more. This set that I built into our video today is really just doing the things that you love about Minecraft the most. Whether it's farming, building, or exploring. Whatever you want to do. Now, I was taking a look at everything that we've done in our world. This is about to be day 102, and side note, I'm kind of surprised. You see, when it comes to Minecraft, I would consider myself the type of player that likes to, build farms, definitely explore, love to do that, but also build. And actually, in this world right here, we built a little bit. That's a beautiful swordle over there. I love it. But actually, I'm surprised at how relatively little we built inside of this world. 100% in this world, after we take on the dragon and move away from this base, I can't wait to build forever. All right, at least build more at our forever base. I got so many big dreams and plans. Now, depending on how your mining trip went down in the mines, you might have found a little bit of redstone. During step number 7, it might be time to consider a little bit of automation. Depending on how much redstone you found, and depending if you've headed into the nether at all and explored quite yet, you might have a little bit of quartz. You could build some observers, some dispensers, and maybe say automate a sheep farm or something. That could be pretty cool. One of the big uses for an automatic sheep farm is going to be wool for beds, which you would then take into the nether and explode. But considering the big changes that Minecraft made to progression inside of 1.20, considering the big changes, I don't actually really recommend focusing on getting netherite too much before the dragon anymore. The diamond armor with full enchantments is probably going to be more than good enough. And step number 7, it's time to hunker down at your base, expand the farms, make the buildings, do all the nice, relaxing, beautiful things. You're set up for success now with the basics. Now it's just time to really start to thrive. Or, alternatively, if you've been squatting over at World Spawn, set up a small base or something with a shelter, a couple small farms, maybe it's finally time to branch out. Because this video is focused on a roadmap before day number 100, and exploring is really just an infinite roadmap. I haven't talked about it too much, but it's time to take a break and explore. If you haven't gone to the nether yet, now that you have geared up with diamond things, go to the nether, check it out, explore. Maybe find all the biomes, or at least find that blue biome. In the overworld, run around and explore. Maybe find an area that is really, really inspirational for a forever base. That could be a beautiful mountain, could be a cool new biome, doesn't matter at all. If you haven't explored your world quite yet, it's time to explore. And if you want to check out the new update, then you're going to want to check out the structures as well. In pretty much every single structure, if you're lucky, you'll find something new. It could be armor trim, or it could be an archaeology dig site. With the essentials in your world taken care of, it's time to really fall in love with your world. And to do that, it's at least for me, it's all exploration. I find something really cool, then I get my mind going, and I want to build a cool base or build over there. So I go and do that. Take your time, explore your world at this point, maybe move your base, build something even bigger, grander, it doesn't matter. Once you've explored a little bit, found some cool things, checked out things, experienced things, it's time to go back to the gear situation. If your gear situation is not perfect, fully enchanted and settled out, before day number 100, and before the last step, the next step, it's time to consider gearing stuff up. At minimum, get yourself a good bow. We're talking power 4 infinity on the bow. At next to minimum, get yourself a decent sword. We're talking looting, maybe some kind of sharpness or smite on it. Get a good pickaxe, but hey, you had that for a long time. Get good armor, we're talking not iron. It's time to ditch that stuff. If you haven't already, get that diamond armor. Hopefully you have enough diamonds for it. And then consider getting some of the other stuff too. If you've done everything we talked about so far, your food situation is probably checked on, it's covered, but what about potions? Maybe you could get yourself a little bit of slow falling potion, or maybe night vision. The strength potions are absolutely beautiful too. Another beautiful thing that is very, very expensive, unless you've done a lot of mining, is these sweet golden apples. With golden ingots and apples fused together inside of a crafting table, you can make an overpowered food. This thing is beautiful. At this point, lads, laddies, everybody, it's time to gear yourself up as much as possible, and then dive back over to the nether. Hopefully you found one of those blue biomes. In a project that we took on last episode, it's time to farm the pearls. Ideally, if you could get yourself 32 of these things, you're going to be set for success. Head over to your local nether fortress, take out some of the blaze, get the rods, turn it into powder, combine it with the eyes, and then it's time for step number 10. If you're stumped in Minecraft and you don't know what to do, or you're brand new to Minecraft and you don't know what to do, an amazing goal to set for yourself by the end of day number 100 is take on that Ender Dragon, remove it from existence, and open up the rest of the end to explore. And that, my friends, brings us to exactly what I have decided to shift focus over to. You see, a little while ago, inside of our world, somewhere vaguely over here, into the general direction that is straight out from base, you got stone tower right there, we got over there, terracotta block. If you can remember, not too long ago, we found this beautiful trail ruin structure. It's really, really cool. We also found a lot of shipwrecks, but I haven't really been focused on it. And that's because I've decided that we need to focus on taking out the dragon, get a check done out of the world, and then I want to move. Inside of this world, I would like to build a little bit more. I would absolutely like to farm a little bit more. I'd like to explore more. And yeah, I just like to do more other things. I think by taking on the dragon, getting it out of the way, it's going to open up this world for like, well, really, I feel like we could do whatever we want. If we want to go get better armor, we take a break and do that. If we want to go explore the nether, build a hub, we do that too. And so, officially, at this point, I announce, in the next 5 episodes, the dragons ripped on. And now, depending on how we can get things done here, I think we might be able to get it done within the next 3 episodes too, but I guess we'll see. And so, aside from all the small but very important details in between, like find a Bonzo, make best friend in the world, to decorate and beautify your world, your day 100 run, at this point, it should be just about complete. Though it all takes place inside of the end, taking on the Ender Dragon and beating it is definitely not the end of Minecraft. There is so much more that needs to be done inside of your world beyond day number 100 and beyond that dragon fight. If you're something of an overachiever yourself and maybe happen to finish the dragon fight a little bit early, then maybe consider going back around to your world. Go find the netherite armor. Maybe go find a bastion, take that thing on. Maybe take on the wither. There's so much content related to the nether. And hopefully soon, it'll be the same thing for the end too. Anyways, 100 days inside of your Minecraft world. The roadmap for the first ones. There you go, check done. Down below in the comments, add to my 100-day checklist. What is another thing that I didn't mention that you should consider taking on in your first 100 days? There's another world download out for channel members right now, and if you like these episodes and you want to get them a little bit early, then check out my Patreon. That's the link down in the description. If you enjoyed this different episode and you'd like to see me do it again, maybe after day like 250 or something like that, smash like on this video, it'll let me know. And subscribe if you're new. If it has happened to be your first episode of the series, consider checking out the rest of the series. There's so much more to Minecraft. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been me, Waddles, and of course Bonzo as well. And I will see you all in the next one tomorrow. Goodbye.